Okay, we're obviously waiting the updated jobs figures from September, and as we just said, we may never get updated data from October. So can we tell what the biggest impact was on the labor market during the longest shutdown in U.S. history?
Probably not much. The space, the amount of the state sector that was shut down is relatively limited. So I don't think we saw a big thing or a big decline, and I don't think we're going to see a big rebound because of that.
Break it down for me a bit more. A lot of people are concerned that they need this information to move forward. The Federal Reserve needs it to make comprehensive decisions, whether it be on what to do with the interest rate or in terms of jobless figures trying to control inflation. And you're saying you don't think it's going to have a big impact?
I don't want to have a big impact in the sense that the Fed has all kinds of ways to find this data on its own. It doesn't have to rely 100% on official statistics. And remember, there are representatives of the various banks, regional banks around the country, who make their own surveys and independent of the government. And the Fed should have enough information. I think the real problem there is for the whole period that Powell has been chairman, there have been delays in the implementation of policy by the Federal Reserve.
Well, that sounds like it's coming straight from the Trump administration rather than information coming out that they really need to make these kind of decisions.
Yeah, but I think even before the issue with the shutdown, they were very slow in adjusting to the economy, and that's kind of a long run problem. I think. I don't know if I call it long run. It's definitely Powell's Powell tenure's problem. It's possible that it's a generic problem and it will persist after Powell. I cannot be sure.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that there is evidence that inflation is within bounds, is above 2%, but not much more, not much, somewhere between 2 and 3%. But there is also evidence that the labor market is weak. So this is that creates a problem for the Fed. On the one hand, they would like to reduce interest rates because they have achieved the inflation target.
Right.
And on the other hand, they're not so sure about the labor market.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, did the shutdown meaningfully disrupt hiring plans for the fourth quarter? Because it is a very important time, especially for retail manufacturing.
I doubt it. I doubt if the shutdown had any specific impact on that. It's the state sector is relatively limited in the United States, and additionally, the part of the state sector that was shut down is not that big, and the people were guaranteed to get the money anyway after the end of the shutdown. So it had a really temporary and relatively small effect.
Yeah, but it also has a very chilling effect on consumer confidence. People aren't confident that the administration is moving in a competent way. They never brought in leaders from both parties to sit down and try to work it out. And as we move forward, people are going to be looking to see which report is going to be the most important in terms of data restarts for jobs, CPI, GDP, and is this going to hurt consumer confidence even more?
I'm not completely sure. I mean, you and I look at these numbers from a professional point of view, and maybe for us it makes a difference. But for the average person, when we ask about consumer confidence, the average person is thinking, is my work safe? I'm not going to be fired. Are the prices reasonable so I can live well? These are the kind of considerations that enter their mind, and not so much, well, is there a federal shutdown or not? At the same time, I completely agree with you that this polarization that has prevailed in the United States, this political polarization which has prevailed in the United States now for over a decade, is not good at all. It creates difficulties of passing laws where most people of both sides would agree.
Yeah.